Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly video for the SGFOA. This is week 3 and we're going to cover the blindside block.
Sit back and relax and let's get down to it. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. We got a great night of football tonight.
IBM presents You Make the Call.
What we're going to look at here is a blindside block, which is a newer rule, but the blindside block. Now this one, it's a little bit different because this player, let's call this player the blindside, so we're going to make sure he can't see, so we're going to put a little blindfold on him here. So he cannot see this player. The only way that this player can legally block this player, if he cannot see him, he'd have to hit him in the front like he normally would, but he could only use open hands. And he has to extend those out from the body. Now, as you see in this video here, so we're going to see on this play is a classic blindside block on a quick kick from the offense here that's perpetrated by the receiving team. So if we run the play here, you'll see we've got a bunch of weird things going on. They try and drive him offside, but nobody crosses the neutral zone. So they come back in at this point. The coach decides it's time to quick kick. So they move back into a kicking formation. The punter kicks the ball. And here we'll pause it for a second. And notice, this guy's running back. We've got a whole bunch of people here in trail position. So we're already looking, since we see guys in trail position, this guy's probably going to, if we're thinking about it, loop around to this side. We've got a strong possibility that we're going to see a blindside block in this area, most likely. So if we run it slowly, we'll see the punt comes down. Player gets under it. He takes it. Now he's going to loop around, so this first guy doesn't get a blindside block. But now, as we look in front of the runner, since he's not threatened right now, we can see there's a couple possibilities here for a blindside block coming up. So if we're officiating this and you're the official who's coming down this line right here, you should be zoning in right here on this guy as a key man who could be blindside blocked. So let's run it slowly and see what happens. You see here, he gets turned, and what would have been a legal block because he hits him right in front, but as he couldn't see him, it is now a classic blindside block. Let's rewind it a little bit and we'll run it at full speed. So we see there, and boom, player's blown up right in front of the ball, and you'll see a couple flags come flying in here in a second. You see one there, one in the backfield, and it's important here to keep officiating. Watch to make sure nothing happens behind you, but we do have plays going on. You don't want these two guys fighting each other. But remember, we do have an official coming up here, and we've got an official on the other side to give a weak side spot, but it is important to make sure we keep officiating. But you see there, let's just rewind it there to all the classics of a prototypical blindside block. We've got a guy who can't see him at all. And this guy's running full speed. He doesn't use open hands or anything. He just comes right at him and blows him up in what used to be a legal block, but now you could see hits him as he can't see him at all. This is exactly what we're trying to get rid of the game. So what we're going to see in this play is, as you usually see with the blindside block, there's a broken play. You're going to see a player come in, and you can see him lining up the guy already. He just came in on the side of the play, and he's going to just blow up the one player who's right in front of him, the one guy who's running in front of him there. This is specifically the types of plays that we're looking to get rid of with the blindside block. You'll see once we get the play moving here that the player just comes in with the shoulder right into the chest of that other player on the defense. Doesn't lead with his hands or anything, just goes in there, takes a cheap shot at him, where simply getting in his way with hands extended would have done the job to get the play done. This is specifically the type of play that we're looking that can get players injured that we're trying to get rid of. Here's just the opposite angle where you can see players coming in, and he's paying no attention to what's going on the outside of him, and the one player comes in and just completely takes a guy out on this play. Using extended hands doesn't mean you still have free reign to do anything. You need to contact the player with just those open hands, not to blow them up, but just to get them off of their momentum, really. And one of the things we want to make sure when we talk about the open hand blocking technique is that you actually use your hands in that open hand blocking technique. You can't just have your arms extended out like the player in this video thinks he can do. You see you got a player coming across, and a player will come in with his hands extended, but you can't use your helmet, and that's it. So you've got to use your hands to make the block. As you see here, he's got his hands out in front of him, but he just doesn't use his hands. That's going to be a problem. It is that time, once again, to reveal the SGFOA Mystery Member of the Week. There were no successful guesses last week's Mystery Member, so as always, the prize rolls in next week. To review, our Mystery Member has twin 17-year-old girls. He has an in-person signed Brett Favre jersey, location undisclosed. And he's also never smoked the hippie lettuce. Unbeknownst to everyone, this member is Jamal Crawford. So much like the sands in an hourglass, we move on to this week's SGFOA Mystery Member. This week's SGFOA Mystery Member has watched a former SGFOA member wrestle a bear. This member has also traveled internationally to view sporting events. And he also is trying to take care of our ecological problem by hunting pythons in the Everglades. If you think you know who the member is, please send me an email, and the winner will be announced at our next meeting. Well guys, that's the end of this week's meeting. I remind you to have fun at your games and stay SGFOA strong.